Welcome to Women of the World Network Choreograph Success podcast. I am Elle Ballard, a woman of the world, a mother, a grandmother, a wife, and an entrepreneur. In this podcast, I discuss ways to choreograph success across 6 essential life areas: health, relationships, career, money, investments, and fun and pleasure. Because as women of the world, we don't just build businesses, we design lives that honor all of who we are. I interview female business owners who are building a business and a life sustainably, ethically, and in community. In these raw and real conversations, we explore what it's like to build a life and business authentically on your own terms while standing on a foundation of self-love and intentionality. If you are a woman of the world, ready to choreograph success in every area of your life while maintaining your uniqueness and individuality, you are in the right place. Welcome to Women of the World Network Choreograph Success podcast. Welcome back, Women of the World Network Choreograph Success. I am so glad you are here right now in this moment, this month of April. And today I want to talk about relationships in bloom, because April is not just a month. It's really a declaration looking outside. Everything that was dormant, everything that was quietly gathering strengths underground all winter is now pushing through. It is blooming. It is revealing what has been quietly growing without apology, right? And I believe the same is happening in you, in us. As we grow, our relationships evolve. Today's episode is called Relationships in Bloom. And we are going to spend this time together exploring one of the most important, most often overlooked parts of your growth journey is the connections you keep, the ones you are called into, and the ones that you are ready to blossom into something new. As we grow, our relationships evolve. The right ones will feel like expansion, not effort. Growth creates new standards of energy, conversation, and connection. Hold on to that. We're going to come back to it. You know, my grandmother used to have this rose garden. I'd like to have my own rose garden one day, actually, and maybe that's something that I've inherited from my grandmother. You know, to have these beautiful roses in my backyard. But here's what Here's what I know about flowers and about women. Neither one blooms in the wrong soil. You can have the most beautiful seed, the most potential in the world, but if the soil around you is depleted, if it's taking more than it's giving, that seed will struggle. It will survive, maybe, but it will not thrive. It will not bloom into what it was always meant to be. Your relationships are the soil of your life. And this April, I want you to honestly ask yourself, what is my soil like right now? When I spend time with the people closest to me, do I feel nourished? Do I feel seen? Do I feel like I can grow taller, reach wider, open more fully? Or do I feel like I'm constantly fighting for sunlight, shrinking, over explaining myself? The right relationships, the blooming ones, feel like rich, deep soil. They are warm, they are safe, they hold you while you grow, and they celebrate you when you rise. They don't ask you to stay small so they can feel comfortable. They say there is more than enough light for both of us. That is what expansion feels like. That is what we are calling in. And the relationships that feel like effort, the ones where you're always the one reaching, always the one tending, always the one shrinking, that's not a character flaw in you. That is simply misaligned soil. And it is okay to lovingly acknowledge that and to start moving toward ground that can hold everything, that you are becoming. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Gardeners know this. And if you want something to bloom fully, sometimes you have to prune. Pruning is not punishment. Pruning is not rejection. Pruning is the intentional act of removing what is no longer serving the plant so that the energy can flow to where new life is trying to emerge. And in your relationships, pruning might look like having an honest conversation. It might look like creating some distance. It might look like lovingly releasing a connection that has run its season and trusting that something new is ready to grow in its place. I know this is not easy, especially for us as women. We are taught that loyalty means holding on. Being a good friend means never outgrowing anyone. That love means staying, even when staying keeps you from blooming. But here is a truth the month of April is reminding us of right now. Let your connections reflect who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You are not the same woman who planted those seeds. You have grown. You have weathered winters. You have done the quiet and glamorous work of becoming. And now it is spring, and you're allowed to bloom into the fullness of that. The connections meant for this season of your life, they are going to find you. They are probably already finding you because blooming women attract blooming women. Growth calls to growth. Expansion recognizes expansion. Your next chapter has its own garden, and it is going to be breathtaking. We are on Choreograph Success podcast, and I want to do something with you right now. This is our embodiment moment, and you can do this wherever you are. I want you to open your arms wide as they will go, and I'm doing it with you as well. Feel that openness in your chest, and that is what it feels like to be in full bloom. That is a posture of a woman who is available to new connections, to new community, to new versions of herself in relationships with others. Arms wide open, heart forward, ready. Now, slowly, gently bring your arms inward. Draw them in toward your heart, holding yourself. That is discernment. That is rootedness. That is you in your full power, choosing who gets to be close to this, who gets access to your inner garden, who you trust with your becoming. Open wide enough to welcome what's meant for you, close enough to protect what's precious. And that is the choreography of relationships in bloom. Expansion and intention, welcome and wisdom. Now I want to talk to you about our community because everything we just explored, I have watched it happen here in our rooms with our women. We just came back from our California summit, and I'm still carrying this beautiful fragrance of the room. And I mean that. There is something that happens when women who are all choosing to grow gather together in one space. Something blooms that none of us could have grown alone. I saw friendships ignite. I saw women give each other permission to dream bigger. I saw soil becoming rich just because the right seeds were finally in the same garden. California, the summit showed again and again our annual summit that we do every year in spring, in March, why community is everything. And we are nowhere done, by the way, blooming this season. April has more for us and more for you. On April 25th, we are gathering in person in beautiful Hawaii. There's a more perfect backdrop for relationships in bloom, right? Hawaii is literally a place where everything grows in abundance, where beauty is the norm, where the air itself feels like possibility. If you have been waiting for a sign, this could be it. Come to Hawaii, come and bloom in person with your sisters, and we will share the link in the show notes. And then at the end of April, April 28, we will be closing out April Bloom with our online summit. Accessible, powerful, global. And this one is for every woman who has been circling, who has been curious, who has been watching from the outside of this garden and wondering if there is a place for her. There is. There is always has been. Come join us on the 28th and plant yourself in the right soil. Link is in the show notes here as well. And as I close today, I want to leave you this message. Think of a garden in full April bloom. Every flower is unique. Every stem reaching toward the same roots, the same light. Roots so intertwined underground that when plant is nourished, the whole garden feels it. And that is what we are building here. That is what your relationships, your truest, most aligned relationships are meant to be. Not competition, not comparison, not contracts, just us, women rooted in themselves, blooming in community, reaching toward the same light together. As you grow, your relationships evolve. The right ones will feel like expansion, not effort. Let your connections reflect who you are becoming. Open your arms, draw in what's yours, and bloom. This April, bloom fully, bloom boldly, and bloom without apology. Thank you for spending this time with me on Women of the World Network, Choreograph Success. If this has planted something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Leave a review. Let us know. It's one of the most beautiful ways you help us. You help this garden grow. And I will see you either in Hawaii or online or in our community. Keep choreographing your success. The world is waiting for you to bloom.